Hello, beautiful esports fans. Welcome back to Iron Squid Group H, where I'm with the ever beautiful, dash, cunning, dapper man, Mouse Sports Kalaris, as we are about to step into NesTea versus Delphi.
Yeah, NesTea is going to have a very interesting time ahead of him. He obviously, for the longest time, he was considered the ZVZ specialist. He never lost a ZVZ on television until Demaga somehow kind of came along and was like, no. But Delphi is another guy that is weird in ZVZ. Sometimes he has phenomenal runs, and then sometimes he just fizzles out. It's really strange to see. You see it in EPS, you see it in IEM, you see it in tons of tournaments. And I don't know. This could go either way, Sean. This really could.
Yeah, I honestly feel like a lot of it is going to rely on whether Delphi will do his traditional choking in this matchup or not. Unfortunately, when you're up against NesTea, it's not as simple as, hey, I'm playing well, I'm not choking. Beat NesTea, no problem. NesTea is phenomenal. But, I mean, ignoring the personalities of these players, Zerg vs. Zerg has been going through a huge amount of shifts in all of the mid game. I mean, the Mutalisk Zergling aggression, very popular. Zergling Infestor, not as popular, but still an option available. But most of all, there's all sorts of wild and crazy things that happen in the mid game that we will all be talking about after Kalaris introduces our players.
Thank you very much, Sean. As we do have spawning up to our top left corner here as our blue Zerg. He goes by the name of, not I am Protoss, but I am NesTea.
And down in that dare bottom right from Team Alternate Attacks, a regular on the German circuit, hoping to have a little breakout here at the Iron Squid Chapter 2, it is Delphi.
And again, guys, we're 1K away from hitting that 10K mark, so I can give away 4 hotkeys instead of 2, so go over to my Twitter and retweet the tweet that was like 3 tweets ago. And that's good, because then I get to give you more chances to play Heart of the Swarm. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Heart of the Swarm is really excellent. It's not, you know, people like to think of all the problems that they're having in gameplay. Oh, how will the units that are coming out in HOTS solve these problems? Interestingly, what Heart of the Swarm does is it just opens up more options. It creates more possibilities for solutions in weird ways, and it also allows for entirely new styles. So this is my experience playing it. You should play it too. Yeah!
True.
So good. At this point in time, we have pretty much nothing too surprising. Both players building up to that 15 mark.
Yeah. And we have the spawning pool going down for NesTea, whilst Delphi's probably going to go for a hatchery first. Why isn't he going for anything? There we go. There's the hatchery first on the way. So, for now, Delphi is in a spot where he... What the... All right, okay. So... No, okay. So, in terms of the opener... Yeah, in terms of going for the gas opener here for NesTea, how are you feeling about this on Ohana, Sean?
Ooh, I like this play from NesTea. NesTea's going for something that is considered a little bit old school, but let's think a little bit about what this entails in modern Zerg vs. Zerg. You used to open up this way because everyone was like, Ermagerd Burnlings, I need to get him as fast as possible with speed. But now this play is a way that you can cut the Banelings out of the equation entirely. You get faster speed. You make the opponent more defensive. You see all of his units. They're coming to the front to stay alive, to defend, so you know exactly what you're up against. And then you can go for a faster layer as NesTea. Or, hell, you can even go straight for the Banelings if you want. That's a little bit weaker of a play on a map like this, but a lot of cool options are available.
He's Delphi. Meanwhile, he's just grabbing himself his gas as well. What you normally see from Delphi is the standard kind of Baneling defense, throwing the Baneling nest down at his natural to be able to make off nice wall-offs with spines, etc. And from that point on, I mean, Delphi can go into the big macro game. So we'll have to see if NesTea is going to be able to do anything with the speed window he's going to open up for himself. Yeah,
that speed window that you're referencing, 30 seconds. That is a significant amount of time. And there's 2 ways that you can play this off as NesTea. It looks like he's playing it out with the 1 queen variant. He will be getting around 20 to 24 Zerglings and then going, all right, done, and going right back to drone production. We see him hanging at 16 drones. His goal is to kill off 5 to 7 drones. If he kills off a queen, okay, that can make up for that, but 5 to 7 drones is about the number you're looking for. And look at this, Delphi going straight for the Baneling Nest.
Yep. In that position that I was talking about before, this is Delphi to a T, just trying to find these little edges in SimCity that have become more and more popular in ZVZ right now. And if we can get past this period, if we can get past NesTea applying so much pressure with a ton of Zerglings and speed now kicking in, and he has been spotted by Delphi, and actually he's moving out a little bit prematurely there. He was spotted a little bit earlier than speed finished up.
And that's a shocker. We're seeing another 10 Zerglings, another larva inject from NesTea pop on out. So now he's going to have to kill closer to 10 drones to make up for this. So he's wrapping right around, instantly going for the assault. The drones managed to escape relatively easily. Will he even get any drone kills at all? He's only gotten 1.
Oh, and the Banelings come out. He saves a queen here, Delphi. And he actually, this is a phenomenal defense by him kicking things off here. One spine does go down. There's no more Banelings left over. They're going to have a few more morphing in. But 1 queen and that spine finish up there. A nice defense by Delphi. And he finds himself a bit of a lead quite nicely with 29 drones to 22.
Delphi slaughtered that. And you see, the reason that we're using numbers like 10 drones, look at the drone count right now, 24 to 30. If you kill off around 10, you are about 2 to 3 drones ahead, but keep in mind, you got your drones a little bit later, so they haven't quite mined as much, and that's what makes this, quote, even. This game is not even at all. Delphi now getting up his layer, getting up his all 4 extractors. He's going to be going straight to Mutalisk. He might even do the ever so modern +1 attack and roach play, but it's looking a lot more Mutalisky at this point.
Yeah, Delphi loves his mutas in this matchup. He almost never deviates from it, and I mean, that's something I've seen time and time again in EPS and IEM, so if he's going to go for that, wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. As I mean, even with the advantage he's accrued himself right now, there's no reason not to actually go for that. And look at that, he's actually just going to start picking away at things. He gets a full scout of his opponent's base, and he sees no layer morphing in. Delphi's going to be very happy.
Oh, Delphi, it has a very clear path. You go Spire. You are very hesitant about taking your 3rd base. Why? Because right now you have 0 vulnerabilities and a tremendous lead. No reason to open up a significant vulnerability. So Delphi will be droning comfortably, will likely halt, do a little scouting, build a few extra lings, and then take the expansion. But, I mean, Delphi is in A-okay shape. Here's the slightly premature Zergling count. Not going to go up to 58 drones, just kind of hanging a little under 50. Again, you don't have to power too much in Delphi's position. You have the lead, maintain it. God, this is an excellent, excellent play, just as you were talking about, Kelaris.
Yeah, this is the thing. If Delphi is on form in ZVZ, he can tear people apart. His defensive presence is very, very strong. And then going into a mid-game, give him that slight increment in a lead, and you are in a very bad spot as NesTea. With the Spire finishing up, and not even a Spire or the Infestation Pit down. I mean, obviously, NesTea isn't going to be going for a Spire with double Evolution Chamber down here. He's going to be going for that Infestation Pit, but you need this out a little bit earlier than the Mutalisk's already starting, because you need Pathogen Glands.
Wow, this is very bad for NesTea. Can we say that in another way, Kelaris? This is very, very bad for the man known as the Korean master of Zerg versus Zerg. Of course, Mutalisks are they're a stepping stone to go for a Roach Infestor play. So we're seeing that transition step up. We are seeing, the sweep in. It looks like NesTea will pick off a queen. I don't even know if I like that play from NesTea. He lost Zerglings. He lost the one of the key defensive and offensive tools in exchange for just a single queen. I mean, as Zerg, you're almost happy to not quite have enough larvae right now, because then you build an extra macro hatch. But looks like NesTea is continuing to try to sweep in for counters, but Delphi is on point. Ow! What a nice Baneling hit at the left.
Very, very well done indeed. As for now, Delphi's just clearing up a few of the Overlords in the middle. This is really limiting what NesTea can see, as well as what he can just do in this game. Whilst Delphi takes a 3rd base, how can NesTea actually shut that down whilst his 3rd's going to be completely shut down? He might even just die right here, right now, as all of these Mutalisks are killing him so much.
Delphi sweeping in. He's instantly targeting that Infestation Pit. Nope, he's going to go for queens. He wants a little bit more guaranteed damage instead of the big prize risk like you were talking about, Kelaris. What a sensational follow-up by Delphi.
Yeah, for now is doing a lot of damage indeed. Mutalisk even negating that spore just by flying around it, and there's just no more queens left for NesTea. So any production he wants to go for, Delphi's doubling his opponent's supply. The circling aggression is not going to work out for NesTea. He's being forced back by the roaches. I don't know how NesTea plans on coming back from this situation he's found himself in.
Can I just drop a little bit of knowledge that I stole from Suppy Kalaris?
You can.
Evil Genius's Suppy, absolutely love the player, showed me the following tactic. You're going Mutalisks, and you see your opponent is going for an infestation pit. And you know what you can do that's so great? You get an Overseer, and then you go up to the infestation pit, and you contaminate it. All Zerg players rely on building their infestors so that they finish 2 seconds after the pathogen glands. So what happens is, after you've gooped it up with Contaminate, they pop out with 50 energy, and you can pick all of them off with your Mutalisks.
Oh, God.
It's an amazing tactic. You always have the freedom to do it because the Overseers can very easily sweep in past the Queens. And then, yeah, it allows, again, Mutalisks are a stepping stone to go for Roach Infestor. That's what we're seeing out of Delphi. He already has the Infestation Pit. He's already catching up in that regard, and it allows you to get even more ahead in the Infestor count.
Oh, God, I love what you just said. I'm actually going to do that in all my ZVZs on the ladder from now on. That's just the most annoying thing in the world. I never thought about it until just now. And that's sick. Good. Whoa, Infestors! Getting a bit too zealous there. That Overseer was in the right place at the right time. Overseers coming into all aspects of ZVZ.
Yeah, I mean, what's impressing me so much about Delphi is his defense and his refusal to give up a single edge. Preemptively building Overseers, preemptively clearing out these walls, taking a very early 4th, getting his upgrades up very early. The 5th is a little bit risky, but still, with the vision control he has over the center of the map, he is just making sure not to give up leads, and here is a fairly futile attempt from NesTea to try to surround these roaches, manages to finally come around from the backside, but with the amount of upgrades we're seeing out of Delphi and the amount of units, he will have more than enough to kill off the majority of this threat. We already see the Infestors from NesTea continuing to trundle forward, but I mean, Delphi has 14 more roaches on the way.
Oh, that was so well done by him. He even picked off a ton of those Infestors at the very beginning as well with the roaches during all of that, whilst they were burrowed, using that Overseer to full advantage as NesTea was just straying slightly forward there. So right now, NesTea is somehow, some way trying to keep himself in this. He knows he can't claim a 3rd because it's being spotted, and every time it tries to go up, it was just being punished. And even if he tried to go for it now, with Delphi swinging on to 5 bases, how can you combat that? You have to finish the game now or never.
It's really amazing to me also to see the way that NesTea is remaining in this game, continuing to fight, continuing to try to pick engagements nicely. He finds this 4th base completed, done, ready to go, and that is just a real devastating moment. And now we're seeing NesTea continue to step ahead with more and more Infestors. The Infestor lead does go to NesTea in this circumstance, but he's going to have to do things like... 2 Infestors just out in the middle of nowhere in mid-map just get picked off for free.
Nice picks off there by Delphi. He's solidifying his lead. He's saying, well, you know, I know the situation I'm in. I see that you're 3rd super late. I'm just going to sit back, play defensive, play macro, get my Hydralisk Den up, get that Roach Infestor Hydra composition that's so fearsome in the mid-game, and just crush you when I max out. And from that point, NesTea just has no way of coming back unless he gets an amazing engagement. Oh.
Well, this is not the amazing engagement I think he was looking for, as that fungal has caught more lings than I think is actually legal. Now we're seeing a desperation swarm of infested Terran eggs as Delphi is maxed against NesTea, who is still down at 100 supply. Delphi annihilates it with ease.
Just doubling the supply right now of NesTea. He's still keeping an eye on his opponent's 3rd. Delphi sees that NesTea's 3rd is not populated by drones at all. He knows he's just continuing flurries of aggression because he still has overlords next to his opponent's natural, seeing all these lings pile out. So he can't be producing drones. Of course he's producing attacking units, but Delphi has the economical advantage. He has the army advantage. He's going for a 2nd Spire as well as Hive. Why not? Why not just play super defensive, super standard, and just wait for your opponent to GG?
I mean, it's funny if you think about the sum up of this game, it would be Delphi. It does an amazing defense of a swift early attack from NesTea, where NesTea overcommitted, and then it was an additional 15 minutes of NesTea doing a phenomenal job holding on with infestors. But as I'm starting to see that 48 roach count, the hive dangerously close to falling down, but of course the hive will pop up nonetheless, and Delphi smartly winning, not by a big attack, but he's going to be trying to win with overwhelming hive tech. Is he actually going to go for the attack right here? It looks like yes. And I will say 48 roaches, 7 infestors versus 15 infestors from NesTea. He's going to have the most perfect fungal infested Terran combinations to stay alive, and his destructible rocks are not down, Kellaris.
Oh, dear me, that's terrible here for NesTea as he's going to push in Delphi for potentially the killing blow. Lovely fungals across the roaches, but with this entire force, just with so much DPS and so many infested Terrans itself, still nice chain fungals locking down a lot of those roaches, but it's not going to be enough. He doesn't have the core to back up these infestors.
He doesn't have the energy to do much with the infestors. We're seeing Delphi already transitioning up to Ultros, building Hydras, getting Adrenal, getting +3 attack. Jeez. Good game! Delphi takes a convincing game 1 over NesTea.
And there's so much I could say about this game, because for me, ZVZ is one of my linchpins of really... I have enjoyed ZVZ for a long time, and the mid-game of ZVZ is fantastic, but just Delphi in general, that was, you know, a perfect time to go out and attack. He was maxed out. He was getting a nice bank behind it. He had his hive finished. He was getting Ultralist Cavern. He had double Spire. So even if he lost that engagement somehow in a bewildering fashion, he still had all the tools there to remax instantaneously on sick good tier 3 tech.
You know, it's funny. I remember having a conversation with another pro about, you know, it's so regular to get a lead and then to lose it. This is, I think, the way you would describe most Diamond and Masters level losses are getting a lead and then not quite knowing what to do with it if you can't end the game right there. And the 3 things that we discussed were the main goal whenever you got the lead is 1, scout for all the enemy expansions, even the seemingly dumb ones. 2, make sure that you're not missing on any upgrades.
Yep.
And 3, try to take another base.
Sounds good.
Like those, and none of them involve attacking. None of them involve trying to batter the opponent down or doing some huge surprise attack or being tricky. It's all just, let's avoid any way we could lose. You know, sometimes you see a player forget upgrades and then his opponent gets 3-3 and I'm at 1-1 and I lose, or he sneaks in a base, or I just run out of money. I mean, all these ways you can end up avoiding by simply
chilling out,
checking and staying back, and Delphi did all of those sensationally in that last game.
He really did. So, guys, we shall go on to a short commercial break, and then when we're back, we'll jump on to game number 2 between ATN's Delphi and I am NesTea.